Hey friends, and welcome back to the Inner Circle. This is Ellis Fam Life, #Autistic Twins, where we like to do 3 things around here. We want to raise awareness and acceptance for nonverbal autism, relate to you and the autistic person in your life, and educate by sharing examples and stories of our life with nonverbal autistic twins, Alex and Will. So if you're new here, thank you for joining us. If you're an old friend, even better because you've been here before and you know what the Inner Circle is all about. Our wishes, hopes, goals, dreams, fears of taking care of or raising an autistic child. And some of us are further along than others. Some have almost grown autistic children, and or we're just starting out and we just found out that our kid is autistic and we finally have an answer. But now we're really stressed out because what do we do about it? This is group therapy, basically. Today's topic, I want to bring up something that, this is also my shout out, but I want to bring up something that a friend and I have been talking about. And this is a shout out to Laura, who lives in the UK and has a little girl who is very possibly autistic. She doesn't know for sure yet. Laura, I can't remember if you've gone through the testing yet, but as you all know, the testing takes forever to get into. First, you go to your doctor and you say, I think there's something wrong. And then your doctor has to say, yes, I think you're right. And then they give you a referral to several different autistic places. At least that's what happened with us. And you call all of those places. Well, if you're in the US, you find out if your insurance covers those evaluations, and then you get on waiting lists. And there are about 3 or 4 big autism centers around us, like within a 50-mile radius or a 25-mile kilometer radius. You get on a waiting list and you wait 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 18 months to have your kid evaluated. So Laura, I can't remember, we've been talking for about maybe 3 or 4 months. I feel like it was before Christmas. You were just trying to figure out if your baby was autistic. And I don't know if you've gone through the evaluation yet, but when you described her to me, it sounded very, you start doing research. As soon as you figure out something's wrong, all you parents know, you start doing research to figure out what the heck is going on so that you can try to help your kid. Anyway, Laura texted me one day and we were talking about school, and her baby is also in preschool. She's 3. Mine are in 5-year-old preschool. They're about to go to regular kindergarten, which for them will be a special education class. But she remarked that one day all of the kids were coming out and everybody was really excited. Maybe it was around Valentine's Day. I think it was around Valentine's Day because every kid brought out a craft that they had made for their mother or their dad. And they were all excited and running up to their parents and showing them the craft that they made, the little heart or whatever it was. And you just noticed the stark contrast between everybody else's kid and your kid, which was, she was completely unaware. She didn't run out with a beautiful little handmade child craft Valentine for you. She was completely unaware. And you said something like, it just hit you in that moment of this wave of grief. Like, she's never going to do it. She's never going to express love or emotion the way we generally want to express love and emotion. Hug, eye contact, words. And in that moment, that grief washed over you and you were so sad that you texted me and said, this is horrible. I hate feeling like this, and I hate that feeling of grief and knowing that she may never catch up. And I just wanted to bring that to the table and say we all feel that way. Sometimes several times a day. Sometimes I can coast through a day and I'm just wrapped up in my tasks and wrapped up in taking care of the boys and everything is fine and I don't think about it. But it's like grief when you lose a loved one. So the grief kind of lessens and you don't feel it constantly every second of every day. After about a few months, you stop feeling quite so overwhelmed with the grief, and then it'll hit you at odd times. You'll remember something about that person. Something will trigger a memory, a smell, or an object, whatever. My mother loved Peanuts cartoons. She loved Snoopy. So anytime I see something Snoopy, it makes me think of my mother. And when you have a special needs kid, it works a little different. At least it does for me. The other day, I I'm kind of wrapped up in the boys. Like, I don't see other kids very often. And when I pick them up from school, a lot of the kids are special needs. So I'm just kind of in that world. But the other day, I interacted with 2 little girls who were very bright and talked really well. And they were like 18 months old and 3 years old. And I realized what it sounds like to hear a small toddler talk normally. Like, they were still a little bit hard to understand because they were still toddlers, but they articulated what they needed and they talked like 2 bright little kids. And the sadness kind of hit me, and I was like, oh, this is what normal little kids sound like, because it's been so long since I've had little kids. Like, the big boys have been grown for so long that I haven't thought about it. And then I interacted with these 2 precious little girls, and I was like, oh, that's what it sounds like. I kind of miss that. And it was just a little prick of grief. It wasn't bad, but it was kind of the same thing of, oh, my boys are probably never going to do that. They might talk at some point. And I get so many positive comments about they're going to talk, I promise, which I'm hanging on to that, y'all. Hanging on to it. I want them to talk. And I believe that miracles can happen. They may talk someday, but it's not right now. And if I compare them, if I get into that comparison game, I get really sad. And I just wanted to tell you, Laura, all of us have gone through that. Every single one of us. We all feel that grief. Sometimes it hits in waves. Sometimes it's just a little prick of sadness, but it's normal. You kind of have to talk your way through it. You kind of have to self-talk and just say, it's okay. My child is never going to be the neurotypical child, but they're still my kid. I still love them. And it is what I've been given. This is the task that I've been given. And then go talk to somebody about it. Go find a friend to text and say, has this ever happened to you? Because it happened to me today and it was so sad. And I say, yes, it has happened and it is really sad and I am so sorry and I completely understand. And it won't always feel like this, but just cry when you need to cry and let the sadness come. Because sometimes being sad is a good thing and it's therapeutic and it makes you feel better. And you just have to accept it. And then after you've been sad for a little while, you move on to the next task and do the next thing that's required of you. And sometimes it's 5 minutes at a time. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that to the table. Y'all share an experience with me where it just hit you that you played the comparison game. We'll call this video the comparison game, because your kid wasn't like all the other kids and it hit you in that moment. And you had to grieve for a little bit and then keep going. So tell me about that down below. Anyway, Laura, so just be encouraged that we have all felt that way and we all do feel that way. And find a person that you can talk to. If you want to text me, or if you have other friends who are close, people who understand, find somebody else in the network who gets it, who has an autistic child and gets it, because normal parents aren't going to understand. They try, and that's why we raise awareness and acceptance, but they're not going to understand like we do. And it's not a bad thing. It's just the way it is. That's why we're here. That's why the inner circle is here. So anyway, y'all comment below and offer an encouraging word. First, tell me the story and then say something encouraging. And if you like this video, make sure to click that like button. If you haven't already subscribed and you're interested in seeing more of Ella's Fam Life #Autistic Twins, be sure to subscribe. Click the bell for notifications. I release videos on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. And thank you all for showing up, interacting with us, and sharing your story. It's hard to be vulnerable, especially on the internet, and because you don't know who's going to read this, but it's really important that we raise awareness and acceptance and we help each other. We relate to each other. This is my therapy. I hope and pray that it's therapeutic for y'all as well. Like, comment, share, subscribe, ring the bell. That's it for this inner circle, and y'all know I always look forward to next time.